I would imagine so. And you see referee Tony Williamson clearing all the seconds out of the ring. We're about to start a second round, and Tim Thurston looking very fresh, looking very confident, looking very ready. We'll see how ready Jamie Hendry is right now.
Tony Williamson starting up the second round. They touch gloves and they're off. We'll see if anybody's bothered to change their strategy for this round. And I don't imagine Tim Thurston has changed his strategy. He seems to be pretty... Oh, and there he catches the kick from Jamie Hendry and comes in with a hard right.
That's right. You'd be foolish to change the strategy that's working for him right now, but eating a couple of right and left hands, Hendry is firing his hands now a little bit more, and that might be the key to keeping Thurston at bay.
Well, I think Thurston's trying to draw Hendry into sort of a brawl, and Hendry, for his part, maintaining that distance, using his jab, trying to be more of a sniper, so to speak, and just keep the distance and shoot from a distance.
Hendry is landing, as you can tell by the blood on Thurston's face, but he's just not doing the damage that Thurston is, and he's not managing to keep the fight on the outside. And now Thurston's seeing that kick coming in and dumping Hendry on his back.
Yeah, every time Hendry throws that kick, Tim Thurston seems to be able to catch it and throw an overhand right. So Hendry might want to change his strategy there a little bit.
He's got to set those kicks up, as you said before. He's throwing it, he's telegraphing it. Thurston sees it coming in and snags it. He's got to set it up with punches. Give Thurston something else to think about.
And here's them, the fighters driving into the ropes, almost falling out of the ring here. Tony Williamson keep making sure they stay in the ring, resetting the fighters. Calling a timeout for a moment.
Perhaps checking the cuts of Tim Thurston or Jamie Hendry. Both fighters bearing battle scars so far.
Looks like Jamie Hendry's got a bloody nose. Nothing that serious. Sure, the fight will be continuing here in a second.
Good call by Tony Williamson, though. The safety of the athletes is paramount. Even if it looks like it's nothing, it's good to have it checked out by the ring doctor, so we know the fighters can fight as safely as possible.
Absolutely. If there's a chance to have a doctor check something and without interrupting the flow of the fight, then by all means.
And a big teep kick, Muay Thai teep kick to the stomach of Tim Thurston, but glances off to the side, and Thurston looks unfazed.
Yeah, Thurston's still trying to close the distance there, trying to penetrate that reach advantage and just throw bombs.
It does look like Hendry's trying to force the kickboxing fight a little bit more, but just not very effective. And every time he makes a mistake, Thurston makes him pay with a heavy hand.
I think that Jamie Hendry's corner might have told him to throw a little more with the right hand. Not just use the jab, but also throw more rights, because he seems to be a little more active with his right hand in this round.
Thurston's boxing experience really showing. Hendry does have fast hands. He's not a substandard boxer, but Thurston good at just moving his head a fraction of an inch to the left or right, letting the punch glance off to the side. And that's just enough to bleed all the power of the punch, make it ineffective, and then respond with the heavy punches that Thurston's been doing.
And quite often when Hendry punches for Thurston's head, Thurston just ducks a little bit and then answers with a punch to Hendry's body. And there's another looping shot from Thurston. It's changed there from Hendry.
Hendry's showing a lot of guts and a lot of determination here, but it's just a matter of Thurston's battle plan paying off more. Thurston just doing incredible amounts of damage with those punches.
And you can see when Thurston throws a shot, his whole body weight is going into that punch. When he throws a looping shot like that, he's twisting right from his heels right up to the crown of his head. His whole body weight's going into that punch. So if it lands, it's going to have some serious impact.
Yeah, Hendry's really on his bicycle here, just almost running from Thurston. Thurston pursuing like a rabid dog, just pursuing him with bad intentions, sinking his fists into Hendry every chance he gets. Big right hand lands again, and Hendry's taking a lot of damage here. He's got to find a way to stop the bleeding, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, he seems to be having less and less success using that jab to maintain a distance. Thurston finding his way through again and again, and there's another looping shot. I mean, even those ones that just hit on the arm, I mean, it all adds up in the end, and Hendry there almost turning his back, turning away from the punch. This is looking more and more like Thurston's fight, and Hendry seems to be powering down. So we'll see what happens in these upcoming minutes here.
What's not being seen here too is Hendry's head isn't really whipping back, which would lead someone to think that those shots aren't particularly hard, but what's really happening is Thurston's hands are moving so fast, the force is sinking into Hendry's head, and this is doing a lot more damage than the uneducated eye might realize. Hendry's taking a lot of heavy blows to the face, which is why he's losing a lot of steam right now, and it's testament to his guts that he's still in this fight.
And Thurston isn't throwing that many straight punches. A lot of them are looping punches, hitting Hendry in the side of the head, which wouldn't cause Hendry's head to snap back so much as just kind of spin him around, which seems to be happening quite a bit. And he's also, like I said, knocking the arms of Hendry down and out of the way, which sets up subsequent looping punches.
And this is an absolute clinic on how a boxer should fight an MMA fight. Again, Thurston just stalking Hendry around the ring like a shark on a bleeding seal and picking him apart almost every single time Thurston throws a punch. It's a heavy hand. Again, a big straight right lands right on the nose of Jamie Hendry.
Well, Hendry doing all he can, but Thurston seems to be really gaining some momentum here and smells blood. And if this kind of momentum keeps up, I'm not sure how much longer this fight's going to go.
No, Hendry can't take this for another round and a half or however much longer is in the allotted time limit. And perhaps a welcome break for Jamie Hendry as the second round comes to a close. I got to say, I've got two very, very dominant rounds for Tim Thurston.
Absolutely, I agree. Jamie Hendry started off using the jab and whatnot to try and keep that distance, but it seems to be having less and less success from him as the fight wears on. And like there's him, every time he throws the kick, Thurston seems to be able to catch it. And Thurston here could have gone to the ground with Jamie Hendry and settled into his guard and tried to ground and pound him, but he just chose to walk away and bring the fight back up again, which is a testament to Tim Thurston controlling the fight and really having the fight go the way he wants.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this round, Thurston had Hendry's number. He figured him out in the first round, and he found a way to completely force his fight in the second round. You know, even while they're standing on their feet, he found a way to keep it from becoming a kickboxing match and just continually hurt Hendry with those brutal left and right hands.
Absolutely. In mixed martial arts, the victor is the person who can impose their game plan on the fight. And Tim Thurston seems to be more and more able to impose his game plan as the fight goes on.
You see him looking very calm, very composed, and very fresh in that corner. He doesn't really look like a guy who's gone 10 full minutes of high-octane combat. Whereas Jamie Hendry, looking a bit more battle-scarred, looking a bit more weary, and he's really going to have to find a way to turn this around. As far as my scorecard is concerned, he needs a knockout in the third round.
Oh, absolutely. Tim Thurston won those first two rounds hands down. Jamie Hendry, even if he wins this round, could still lose a decision. You got to wonder what Bill Mahood and Todd Goenberg are telling Tim Thurston at this point. I mean, his game plan seems to be working out quite well, so other than keep doing what you're doing, what else is there to say?
Absolutely nothing. And if I were in Tim Thurston's corner, there wouldn't be a great deal to say. He's doing increasing amounts of damage, as I said before. I cannot see Hendry lasting through a third round that would duplicate the damage he took in the second round. This is not a guy who's going to be able to take, I don't care how tough he is, you cannot keep taking punches to the head like that all night long. Hendry's got to switch up his game plan. He's got to do something different. In my mind, he's got to force a grappling match in the third round and get a tap out.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get into a clinch position with Tim Thurston with punches like that being thrown. Jamie Hendry might want to try to change levels and shoot for a double leg, but then that invites the knee to the dome, so to speak. So we'll see. I mean, you don't know what Jamie Hendry's corner has told him to do. Maybe we'll see here.
And now we're away to the races for the third and final round of this fight. Hopefully for Hendry, he's found a way to change up his game plan.
Well, I hope for his sake he has, because the way the fight was going for the first two rounds, Tim Thurston was more and more able to impose his game plan, so we'll see what happens here.
Now you see Hendry firing that inside kick to the lead leg of Thurston, which is a good idea. It's something he should have been doing a long time ago, is working the outside and inside kicks to that lead leg.
Oh, big punch
right
from Tim
hand lands
Thurston.
on the face of Hendry, and the referee wisely stepping in. That was not a shot that he was going to be getting up from. Thurston, no surprises here, winning with a right-handed straight right knockout at Elite Fighting Championships.
Yeah, that was a fight ender right there. A straight right like that, Jamie Hendry's night was over.
And very justifiably, Todd Gowenberg of the Revolution Fight Team congratulating Hendry. Hendry was an absolute warrior, standing up under that punishment for as long as he did, showing his skills as much as he did. And just Thurston lifting his defeated opponent over his head, as is very deserved. But a big night for Tim Thurston, a clinic on how a boxer should fight a mixed martial arts fight.
And here's that punch again. Right on the jaw. Jamie Hendry is clearly out. He's down. His head hits the canvas. The referee rushes in and stops it before Tim Thurston can inflict damage on the unconscious opponent.
Absolutely, and Thurston showing good presence of mind, not stepping back as Hendry was going down, but with mixed martial arts allowing ground combat, jumping in with a right hand to the face, and the referee finally getting there to stop the damage.
I think Tim Thurston pretty much stopped on his own and just jumped right over him. And Jamie Hendry here getting back to his knees.
Well, it's been a good night for Revolution Fight Team, and I can see why if they've got representatives like Tim Thurston. Once again, you'll see the way he sets it up, responding to the inside kick to the lead leg, and brutally landing that right hand to the jaw of Hendry.
Here's another one. And
Hendry's night is over.
That was the theme of the evening. Hendry seemed to be throwing that jab and that kick, and each time Tim Thurston would counter with a hard right hand or left hook.
Anyone fights Tim Thurston has to